Tamara, tonight these doors are locked, but police say on Friday 2 people just walked right up without anyone noticing them. They then tried to rob several workers inside. They then shot one of them to death, Robert Saez, as he tried to run away. But tonight there are new security plans, and that is a big relief for the Saez family. Heather, right now state investigators are on the tennis courts behind me trying to identify 2 bodies. Well, Tamara, last night he was able to get away, but tonight police say part of the crime was caught on tape, and thanks to surveillance cameras, they could be closer to putting him behind bars. Tamara, the kids who were on that bus go to school here at Pearson Town Elementary. This morning when the bus dropped them off here at school, they met with a school psychologist to talk about the incident. Also tonight, Durham police are going door to door with this flyer, trying to find out who's responsible for what they call a heinous crime. After a stray bullet went through this Durham school bus window, driver Shanita Morgan felt something more than fear.
And I felt like a thrash against my head, and when I stopped the bus and looked under my feet, it was a bullet laying on the floor.
Morgan says many of the 25 students on the bus screamed and cried, but no one was seriously injured.
One of them had said they got hit in the eye with a piece of glass, but he had on eyeglasses, so it kind of shielded his eye.
Today, parents expressed outrage over what could have been a deadly shooting.
I hope they find the person, because they need to be taught a lesson, because these are our kids, and our kids go to school to learn and get an education.
Durham police announced today they are working non-stop and have many leads. This is the street where the bus was hit by the bullet. Police believe they were caught in the crossfire, not the original target, but they are keeping a close eye in the neighborhood.
It appears that an individual or individuals were traveling in a vehicle. One vehicle may have been stationary, and shooting erupted between those two.
While police believe there were 2 shooters and are looking at the possibility it was gang-related, Durham's mayor delivered a warning to those responsible.
Rest assured, we're going to capture these people that did this. You got my word on that.
Tonight, 25 officers are working on the case 24 hours a day. Crime Stoppers is also offering a reward for any information leading up to an arrest of up to $1,200. Tamara? Bob, today's hearing lasted almost 3 hours. Both Kathleen's sister and the lead investigator on the case took the stand. Michael Peterson's attorneys questioned them, trying to prove the state is withholding evidence. So help me God. Kathleen Peterson's sister, Candace Hunt Zamperini, was subpoenaed to this Durham courtroom by Michael Peterson's lawyers. They claimed in a September broadcast interview, Zamperini made misleading statements about knowing about a murder weapon and a motive. She says she did the interview to help solve her sister's murder.
I said, there is a murder weapon, there is a motive, and my understanding in the English language is there's a difference between the word is and have.
During a tense testimony, Zamperini told the court about the night she arrived in Durham after learning her sister died.
I thought at that moment it was a tragic accident. Through the following days of my sister's funeral and subsequent weeks in which I learned more truths about my sister's life, I questioned things I had noticed and seen over the years.
Michael Peterson's attorneys also put the lead investigator on the case on the stand. They tried to prove the state is still not turning over enough evidence to the defense.
Do you have any understanding or explanation about why we wouldn't have received those reports today?
The investigation is ongoing while police look closer at the death of a Peterson family friend 17 years ago. They want to exhume the body because she was found dead at the bottom of her stairs, just like Kathleen Peterson. But the defense says it was a natural death.
Every piece of paper that you've seen relating to the death of Elizabeth Ratliff indicates that death was natural.
Every piece of paper that I've seen, that's correct.
After hearing from both sides, the judge gave a warning to not try the case through the media, which could keep the Peterson trial set for May from being held here in Durham. The state turned over 2 boxes of evidence to the judge today, and they are waiting for more to come from the SBI lab. And Bob, they will be back in court in early November.
And we'll be there too. Thank you, Erin.
Bob, just a few minutes ago, investigators here at the sheriff's office finished asking Omar Reed about his escape. We watched deputies bring him in tonight. Just hours after he ran from the courthouse, police and sheriff's deputies caught him in the woods near East Gear Street after a tip. Now that he's in custody, the investigation begins into how this could have happened.
But I've never seen anything like this before. It was just so bizarre.
Brian Ouse is Reed's attorney. He's also the one who saw Reed running from the courthouse.
All of a sudden, lo and behold, I'm looking out the window, and I said, that looks like my client walking across the street. And then I see him jogging, and I'm like, no, it can't be him.
But it was. Before Reed's sentencing, he was being served lunch in a holding cell in the basement of the courthouse. His feet and hands were not restrained, and only one guard was with him.
Pulled out a weapon, some kind of sharp object, and overpowered her and handcuffed her and locked her in the cell and then left the building.
That officer, Phyllis Lawrence, was not injured but extremely shaken when Ouse and a deputy found her.
Deputy Harris went and got a key, opened it up, and she came falling out, and at that point we realized that she had handcuffs on and she was cuffed behind her back.
Some court employees told us about the same time Reed escaped, someone broke into this jury pool room and stole some cash. But tonight, investigators don't believe the two incidents are related. But they do believe he had help from the outside. They say he belongs to a gang and told them repeatedly he wouldn't go back to jail. But tonight, that's exactly where he is.
Erin Carroll was following this story today. Really sad.
That's right, Bob and Tamara. Today we visited the Lowry family. They are all visually impaired. They say a robber stole some of their most prized possessions, and they still can't believe how it happened to a family who relies on the goodness of others. It's a story you'll only see on WB22 News at 10.
It can happen to anybody, anyone. I feel raped.
Scott Lowry came home from work on Tuesday to find his Raleigh home burglarized.
They had broken through my garage door and just came in through the back of the house and just lifted everything.
Scott, his wife Kathy, and their 8-month-old son Brandon are all visually impaired. They say the robbers stole things worth $12,000.
Our TV, our stereo, jam box, a bunch of my jewelry. My wedding band, my engagement ring, all of Brandon's baptism jewelry.
The Lowrys say they live in a quiet neighborhood with a busy church right next door. They also say there are other visually impaired families in the neighborhood. They're worried others will be taken advantage of as well.
I feel like they just violated us because they knew we were vulnerable. They knew they could watch Kathy leave the house.
The Lowrys immediately had an alarm installed, and the company told them about 11 other break-ins have occurred in the area. They say being visually impaired makes them twice as vulnerable, and now they want to second-guess certain things.
I went through going, who did I tell we bought that TV, and who, and could it be somebody that knows me that has helped me in some way, and then came in and was looking around behind my back trying to figure out what they could take.
While they continue to suffer from emotional distress, unable to sleep in their own bedroom where the robber used their bedspread to wrap their TV, they say they will find support in one another.
They're still here, and these are the two that count. You can't replace them. You can replace everything else, but this you can't, and this you can't.
If you have any information, the Lowry family would like you to call Raleigh Police at 233-2144.
My goodness, you know they've lost so much, but is there anything in particular that they really wish they could have back?
Kathy says she'd really like her wedding band back.
Understandably so. Hopefully someone will come forward. Thanks, Erin.
And I face death every single day. From the moment I get up in the morning from the time I go to bed, death is staring me right in the face.
Georgette Wooten says she's been living in a lonely, scary place for the past 9 years while battling kidney disease. But thanks to her sister Yvonne, she now has hope.
I've got two. She needs one. She can have it.
Yvonne is a perfect match to give her sister Georgette a kidney, but doctors won't perform the life-saving surgery until Yvonne loses weight. They began working out in July with a trainer who's donating all of his time. Since Yvonne began to work out, she's lost 46 pounds, but according to her trainer, she still has a ways to go before she can have the surgery.
We've got actually 80 more pounds to go, because when I started this, I weighed 325. Now I weigh 280.
The sisters do 2 hours of cardio along with stretching and weight training. And the key to their success in weight loss lies in the changes they've made at home.
Eating 6 times a day. It's portion size, very small proportion size, eaten about every 2 hours. It's fairly high in protein and there's a lot of water.
Beyond changing in appearance, the sisters have formed a closer relationship and have made goals not possible before their workouts began.
For the first time in 9 years, I have the hope of being able to get my life back.